back, brothers and sisters of Christ. My name is Brianna and I'm back with another video. And for today's video is marriage is a blessing. So this is another example, that people downplay something that is so beautiful, precious, and sacred, and it's marriage. We need each other. You know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff that's going on, people act like men don't need women. Men need women, women need men, and that's why the Lord made it this way. Marriage is strongly encouraged and often talked about in the Bible. However, you will hear many people say, do not get married. It's not worth it. It's miserable. I wish I never did it. And a lot of times people say this because they're ignorant. You know what I'm saying? They don't know any better. They never been married, or they had a bad marriage experience and they throw it off on others, or they don't even believe in God. And, everything God made for good, people make it seem bad. And you're going to notice that the more you get into your Christian walk, you're going to notice, like, why is it that everything that God tells us to do, people make it seem like it's a horrible thing? Oh, baby, it's just the beginning. And, a lot of times, people don't know any better. People didn't have good examples. They never even been married. So how you talking about something you don't know? They had a bad marriage experience, so now they're projecting it. And if you don't believe in God, baby, you dang sure not going to believe in marriage. So there's certain people that you cannot listen to. And see, a lot of times people get married also for the wrong reasons. They don't know the true meaning and work that comes with being married. Or God was never in their marriage to begin with. And if God is not in your marriage, then no wonder you feel the way you do about marriage, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just a piece of paper, as most people say. But marriage is a covenant between God, you and your spouse. It's a commitment that we must honor. And, for those going around saying that marriage is just a piece of paper and doesn't mean anything, baby, it does. You can say that you're married to multiple people with your mouth, but it is not true if it has not been done legally. And the Bible instructs us to do things the right way and the legal way. You know what I'm saying? We are instructed to follow the laws and follow the rules on this earth. So I don't know why people go out of their way to make things more difficult than it has to be. Then, there's people knocking, shacking up for years and not getting married just so they can stay on government assistance, because if you get married, they'll cut it off. Just a bunch of different things. The Lord will take care of you. What we fail to realize is that God honors when we do things the right way. And, as a young girl, I always knew I wanted to be married. And if it was up to me, honestly, I would have been married at 19. But if it was up to me and it wasn't up to me, I'm not married yet. We're engaged. And I wasn't even ready. You know what I'm saying? I knew that I wanted to be married, but I didn't even know the importance of marriage, and I wasn't ready. It was things that I need to work on anyway. I didn't know the deepness and how real the importance was behind marriage. And, although I wanted to get married, I also had a fear of being married as well. I didn't project this fear on other people, but I had a fear of getting married because I did not see too many good examples of marriage. Whether it was examples in my life or just on the internet, I always would hear negative things and see negative things about marriage. And a lot of couples, I would see couples that hated each other. And I'm like, how could you hate the person you marry? How could you hate the person that you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with, that you have children with? I would always hear about married couples cheating. And I hear married couples are the main people that cheat. Just overall unhappiness. And I couldn't seem to understand it. And it was so bad that it was rare to see true happy couples that loved each other. And I thought to myself, if this is what marriage is, and baby, I don't want it, y'all can keep it, because I want to be happy and y'all don't seem to be happy. But see, those marriages weren't God-centered. From what I knew and from what I seen and from what I heard, God is the number one necessity in a marriage for it to work. And from what I hear, marriage can be hard. So if you don't have God and it gets hard, then the enemy gonna come creeping in so easy, because you're not even getting on your knees and pray. Y'all not even praying together. And see, God is the number one necessity in every relationship. Before you get married, you got to put God first. You know what I'm saying? So when you marry, you definitely got to put God first, because the devil can't stand marriage. Now, I'm engaged. I'm not married just yet. But the Lord has been teaching me about marriage. Him himself has been teaching me about marriage. And I love my family, and I look forward to being a wife. Like, that's what I want to be. Like, that was one of my goals. And but I see it so much more different and deep now. So when I say I do, I know exactly what I'm saying. I do too. You know what I'm saying? I know how to fight for my marriage. I know how to cherish my marriage and my husband. You know, how to honor God in my marriage. Like, it's just so much, and it's a beautiful thing. And now, marriage is not for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Everybody won't be married. But if it is something that you desire, then do not let people convince you that it's a bad thing. Keep God first. Honor him and honor your marriage. And your marriage will be blessed, baby. If God is in that marriage, there's no doubt about it, that marriage will not be blessed. If he ordained it, and y'all putting him first, y'all praying for one another, with one another, baby, there's no failing. You know what I'm saying? Don't listen to man. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they don't know God. We cannot listen to nobody that don't know God. When it comes to certain things, as sacred as marriage, because they don't know about it. They don't know the importance. They're not reading the word. They don't even halfway believe in it. Do y'all know how blessed and strong a marriage is or can be when both parties know God? I do have examples of that in my personal life. You know, keep him first and actively pray. Baby, it ain't nothing that can get in y'all way. So I got to a point that I don't listen to people who don't know God. I don't listen to people that don't believe in his word when it comes to stuff like this, because we have two different points of views. And if you don't believe in God and his word, then you definitely won't understand the importance of marriage. And then we got the people that think it's okay to have multiple wives because they did it in the Old Testament and stuff like that. People just have all these outlooks on marriage that is not, you know what I'm saying, what God wants for us. So when it comes to, you have to really be careful who you talk to when it comes to stuff like this, like marriage. Because you cannot just talk to anybody when it comes to your marriage. When it comes to getting married, you can't get advice to anybody, even if they are married. Sometimes you can't even take advice from married couples, because if you are on the path of righteousness and knowing the Lord and they don't, I'm not saying that it's actually nothing they can tell you, but when it comes to the God aspect of it, if they don't know the Lord, what can they tell you? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, my husband, my fiance and I are not married yet, but we are still very selective of who we listen to. You know what I'm saying? We watch couples. We see what they go by. You know what I'm saying? Do they go to the Lord first? We don't just listen to everybody, because people will try to give us, you know, advice and stuff. And ain't nothing wrong with it to a certain extent, but you know what I'm saying? You got to have the discernment now. Because if you ain't on the path with the Lord, then I don't really know if I want to listen to you. But I'm going to read Matthew chapter 19, verse 4 through 6. And it says, "Haven't you read," he replied, "that at the beginning the Creator made them male and female? And he said, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate." One flesh. Like, that's deep enough. When you marry this person, y'all are one, baby. And see, a lot of people don't be ready for that. And that boils back to what I said, like, it's letting certain stuff go. When you get married, you know, you have to let certain stuff go. Government assistance and all that, because y'all are one, baby. So, again, you have to be selfless and not selfish. And you have to lean on the Lord to provide. And you have to do things the right way. The way the Lord has ordained for us to do them. So we got Ephesians chapter 5, 21 through 26. And y'all probably looking like, I can't listen to you because you ain't married either. Y'all right. Y'all ain't got to listen to me. But this topic is about basically how people try to say that marriage is not a good, like, I'm pretty sure we've all heard people try to talk and downplay marriage. And it's mainly men. Mainly men do this. And I got closer to the Lord, and he showed me things about marriage myself. Because like I said, I had fears about getting married because of the examples that I seen. But I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You build your own foundation up too. You can't just look at other people's marriages all the time too. You have to build your own stuff up. You know, some people's marriages may have crumbled, like I said, because they didn't have God in it. But you and your fiance or husband may have God in it. So your marriage ain't gonna go the same way as their marriage went. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't like the fact that everything that the Lord stands for, the people try to go against, and they try to talk against, and they try to talk people to do things the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna talk about it. But we got Ephesians chapter 5, 21 through 26, and it says, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as you do to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. Now, as a church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit to their husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church, without strain or wrinkle or any other blemish, but holiness and blamelessness. In this same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. After all, no one ever hated their own body, but they feed and care for their body just as Christ does the church. For we are members of his body. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. This is a profound mystery, but I am talking about Christ and the church. However, each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband. So I actually did. That was Ephesians chapter 5, 21 through 33. That's deep. Husbands, love your wife just as Christ loved the church. Husbands are to love their wives as their own body, because see, we become one flesh. So when you become one, you know, you're supposed to love your spouse as yourself. Whatever you wouldn't do to yourself, don't do it to your spouse. Whatever you would do for yourself, do it for your spouse. He said, after all, no one has ever hated their own body, but they feed and care for their body just as Christ does the church. So feed and care for your wife, your husband. And I love how it says, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united unto his wife. Because see, that's a topic for another day, how these men cling to their mothers and stuff like that. When you are married, you leaving your mother and your father. Okay? And you are to be united to your wife. Your wife then comes first. And yeah, you become one flesh. Like, that's so deep to me, becoming one flesh with a person. This person, you are to treat this person as yourself. You know what I'm saying? As much care as you would treat yourself. And that's just so amazing to me and so deep to me. So we got, let me see, what's this one? We have Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure. For God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral. So yeah, marriage should be honored by everybody. No adultery, y'all. But yes, like, marriage is a blessing. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, don't get married. I don't want to get married. And like I said, everybody doesn't have to get married. But the fact that everybody's trying to like speak it unto others and project it onto other people as if it's a bad thing. Marriage itself is not a bad thing, baby. It's how you go about marriage. It's about who you're marrying. It's about if God is at the center or not. You know what I'm saying? It's so much more to it than a piece of paper and just the word marriage. And a lot of people ain't willing to put in that work. A lot of people are not willing to love their wife like Christ loved the church. A lot of people are not willing to treat each other as one flesh, as if you're, as yourself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are not willing to be selfless. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that you have to do and kill in order to have a successful marriage. From what I've seen, from what I've heard, and from what God's been teaching me, from what I've been reading, baby, it's not about self. Okay? And people don't be ready for the pressure when it comes to a lot of stuff and when it comes to the word of God. People are not willing to do a lot of the things that the Lord talks about in this Bible. So they try to make it seem like the thing itself is not good. No, baby, it's not the thing itself. It's you're not going about it the right way to get the right results. You know what I'm saying? Marriage is a beautiful thing. When it's good, when it's done right, when it's with the right person, you know what I'm saying? When it's been ordained by the Lord. But people are not doing things that way, and then they blame it on, it's just marriage, like it's just overrated. No, baby. That was your experience. That's not everybody's experience. And was the Lord in your marriage? Did the Lord even tell you to marry that person? It's a lot of things that could, that we have to take into account when you hear people say negative things about marriage. So that's why, like I said, I don't even listen to people when it comes to a lot of people when it comes to certain stuff, because you never really know the full story in the background. So you have to build your own foundation. Yeah, you have to build your own marriage up with you, your partner, and the Lord, baby. Let the Lord lead you. Let the Lord guide you. Don't let these people lead you astray talking about marriage ain't no. No, ma'am. We doing things God's way around here, baby. But if this word is not for you, it's for somebody else. Remember, I'm telling y'all this because I love y'all. God bless.